Subscribe to English Vocabulary official channel for more interesting stories and for learning English.
So friends, if you not watched the part 1 of this story yet, please watch the part 1 first for better understandings. So this story continues from there. She knew that their love was strong enough to overcome anything, and that they would always be there for each other. They sat down under the old tree, and the boy put his arm around Lily, holding her close. They watched as the sun set behind the trees, casting a warm golden light over the forest. Lily felt a sense of contentment that she had never felt before. As the night fell, the boy told Lily that he had one more thing to tell her. He told her that he had been dreaming about their future together, about the life they would build. He told her that he wanted to spend the rest of his life with her, to make her happy and to never let her feel alone again. Lily felt tears in her eyes as she listened to the boy's words. She knew that he was the one she had been waiting for, the one who would fill the emptiness in her heart. She knew that they were meant to be together and that nothing could ever change that. They sat there under the old tree, holding each other close, and Lily felt a deep sense of love and happiness. She knew that she had finally found her place in the world, and that she would never have to feel alone again. As they watched the stars twinkle in the night sky, Lily felt a sense of peace wash over her. She knew that her mother was watching over them and that she was happy for them. She knew that their love was strong enough to last a lifetime. Lily closed her eyes and whispered a quiet thank you to the old tree for bringing them together. She knew that their love was a gift and that they were meant to be together. She knew that they would always be there for each other, no matter what. And so, Lily and the boy lived happily ever after, their love growing stronger with each passing day. They knew that they had been given a second chance, and they were determined to make the most of it. They knew that their love was a gift, and they would cherish it forever. As they sat under the old tree, holding hands and watching the stars, they knew that they had finally found their place in the world. They knew that they were meant to be together, and that nothing could ever change that. And in the quiet of the night, as the wind whispered through the trees, Lily felt a sense of peace that she had never felt before. She knew that she was no longer alone and that she never would be again. She knew that their love was strong enough to overcome anything and that they would always be there for each other. The boy leaned over and kissed Lily on the forehead, and she smiled, feeling a warmth in her heart that she had never felt before. She knew that she had finally found her home and that she would never have to feel alone again. As they sat there, holding each other close, they knew that their love was a beautiful thing, something that would last forever. They knew that they had been given a second chance, and they were determined to make the most of it. And so, they sat under the old tree, watching the stars and dreaming of the future they would build together. The night was calm, and the stars above seemed to whisper promises of happiness and love. The forest around them was quiet, except for the soft rustling of leaves in the gentle breeze. It felt as if the whole world had paused, giving them a moment of perfect peace. Lily leaned her head on the boy's shoulder, feeling safe and content. She had spent so many years feeling lost and alone, but now, with him by her side, everything seemed clear and full of hope. She thought about the old tree and how it had brought them together. It was as if the tree had known they were meant for each other, guiding them to this moment. The boy, too, was deep in thought. He held Lily close, marveling at how lucky he was to have found her. He thought about his dreams, how they had led him to her, and how everything now seemed to make sense. He believed that their meeting was not just a coincidence, but something destined to happen, a love story that had begun long before they were born. As the night wore on, the boy told Lily about the dreams he had been having. In one dream, he saw them living in a small, cozy house at the edge of the forest with a garden full of flowers. In another, he saw them growing old together, surrounded by children and grandchildren. Each dream was a glimpse of a future filled with love and happiness. Lily listened to him, her heart swelling with emotion. She could picture the life he described, and it made her feel more hopeful than ever. She had spent so long fearing the unknown, but now with him, the future seemed bright and full of possibilities. But as the night grew darker, a strange feeling began to creep into Lily's heart. It was a feeling she couldn't quite explain, a sense that something was still missing. She tried to push the thought away, focusing on the boy's warm presence beside her, but the feeling persisted, nagging at her as if trying to tell her something important. She looked up at the old tree, its branches swaying gently in the breeze. The tree had given her so much comfort, guidance, and now love, but she couldn't shake the feeling that the tree still had one more secret to reveal, something that could change everything. The boy noticed the look on Lily's face and gently asked her what was wrong. She hesitated, not wanting to spoil the perfect moment, but she knew she couldn't keep her feelings from him. She told him about the strange sensation she felt, how it seemed like the tree had one more story to tell. The boy listened quietly, nodding as she spoke. He understood what she meant because he felt it to a sense that their journey wasn't quite over yet. He suggested that they spend the night under the old tree, hoping that it might reveal whatever it was holding back. Lily agreed, and they settled down on the soft grass, using each other's warmth to keep the cold at bay. The forest was dark around them, but they felt safe under the tree's protective branches. As they drifted off to sleep, they both hoped that the answers they sought would come to them in their dreams. Lily found herself standing in the middle of the forest, but this time it was different. The trees were taller, the air was thicker, and the ground beneath her feet felt ancient. She knew this place, but it wasn't the forest she had walked through before. It was older, more mysterious, as if she had stepped back in time. As she wandered through the forest, she heard the familiar whispering again, but this time it wasn't coming from the tree. It was coming from somewhere deep within the forest, calling her to follow. She hesitated for a moment, fear gnawing at her heart. But then she remembered the boy's comforting presence. Even though he wasn't with her in this dream, she could feel his love giving her strength. She followed the whispers, walking deeper and deeper into the ancient forest. The trees grew thicker, their branches forming a canopy that blocked out the sky. The air was cool, and the ground was covered in soft, damp moss. Lily felt as though she was being led to something important, something that would change everything. After what felt like hours of walking, she finally reached a small clearing. In the center of the clearing stood a stone altar covered in ivy and moss. It looked like it had been there for centuries, forgotten by time. The whispers grew louder as she approached the altar, and she felt a sense of dread mixed with curiosity. On the altar was a single glowing stone. It was small and round, emitting a soft golden light. Lily reached out to touch it, feeling its warmth beneath her fingers. As soon as she did, the whispers stopped, and the forest fell into complete silence. Suddenly, the stone began to glow brighter, and Lily felt a surge of energy coursing through her body. Images flashed before her eyes, memories that weren't her own but felt deeply familiar. She saw herself in the boy, but they were different, dressed in clothes from another time. They were laughing, holding hands, and walking through the same ancient forest. But then the images changed, showing them being separated, pulled apart by forces they couldn't control. Lily's heart ached as she watched the scenes unfold, realizing that these were memories from their past lives. They had been lovers once, long ago, but something had torn them apart. And now, in this life, they had been given a second chance to find each other again. But the images didn't stop there. Lily saw the boy standing in front of the stone altar, just as she was now. He was holding the glowing stone, tears streaming down his face. He whispered something, and the stone's light dimmed, its energy fading away. The boy placed the stone on the altar, and as he did, the forest around him began to change, becoming the forest that Lily knew, the forest where they had found each other in this life. They knew that their love was eternal, a bond that would last through lifetimes, and they were determined to make the most of the second chance they had been given. As they walked into the light, they knew that they would always be there for each other, no matter what. And in the quiet of the morning, as the world around them began to wake up, they knew that they had found something truly special, a love that would last forever. And so, the story of the alone girl and the boy who loved her came to an end. But their love, their connection, would continue to shine, guiding them, protecting them, and keeping them together forever and always. In the end, they realized that love was the greatest gift of all, something that could overcome any obstacle, something that could last through time itself. They knew that their love was a beautiful thing, something that would continue to grow and flourish no matter what challenges they faced. And as they walked into the future, hand in hand, they knew that they had found something truly special, a love that would last forever.